Evening. It's Thursday, March 12th, 2026, here in Ayer Town Hall. This is a meeting of the Ayer Conservation Commission. With me in attendance are Mark Phillips, Vice Chair, George Bacon, Member, Jeremiah Clerk, Heather Hampson, Conservation Agent, and John Schmallenberger, Member, and I am Jessica Gino, Chair. Starting off the meeting, the agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as posted?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the chair votes aye. The motion passes. Approval of the meeting minutes for February 12th, 2026. Have people had a chance to read them? I sent you some changes, right?
They should be.
And they're in there, yeah.
I appreciate you sending them so I can fix them and then we can.
On the
vote on
early
the
end,
fix.
yeah. Any changes to the minutes? Looks
No.
like we have another winner of a clerk.
She's a keeper.
Just keeping up, living up here.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes for February 12th as written?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the chair votes aye. Approved. Next on the agenda is the continued public hearing for the notice of intent for Sawyer May LLC for changes and extension of the roadway on Orion Park Drive. This hearing is opened under the Ayer Wetland Bylaw, not under the Wetland Protection Act, so there is no file number for this. Who do we have?
Good evening, everyone. Sean Malone from Oak Consulting Group. I'm the civil engineer and representing the applicant tonight.
Okay, and there have been changes in the plans. Can you go over?
Happy to, yes. So the biggest change that were made to the plan was, per our discussion at our last meeting, was to move the drain pipe from Orion Park Drive to the infiltration basin outside of the 25-foot no disturb zone. So we were able to do that by rotating it down counterclockwise on the page there. We put it about the center of the pipe's about 6-7 feet off of the 25-foot line, so that gives us room to excavate and still not disturb that 25-foot buffer. So that was the biggest change. We are still proposing the buffer mitigation as described at the last meeting. Additionally, we did receive approval from the planning board on Tuesday. We are still working through natural heritage. We received some additional comments from them. We replied to their comments about a month ago, and they provided us a response this week. In short, they asked for a habitat analysis. We have retained Goddard Consulting to do that habitat analysis. Specifically, they were interested in the blanding turtle, I believe it was. So we are scheduling that. We also have a Teams meeting with Natural Heritage on Thursday. So we are moving forward to getting any of their issues and get all that resolved with those folks. I do know that we are still trying to get a site walk with this commission. I don't know if we're going to try to schedule something tonight, but we certainly want to keep moving forward as best we can.
With all the melting, what sort of condition is the ground in that area now? Is it open? Or?
Well, I drove by there tonight. The front field, lot 5, is pretty much all bare ground. Lot 4, there is some still snow there, but it is melting rapidly. I would think another week or 2 at the most, we should definitely be bare ground, providing we don't get a March storm.
Nobody wants that.
No.
So the area where the relocated line is, that's still got snow cover?
There's still some snow there, yes.
Okay.
Is it like spotty or is it?
I didn't go all
You
the way
didn't go.
back there. I just looked from, Westford Road.
Yeah.
But with the tree cover and, so it's a little more shaded, I would think it's still, maybe 6 inches to a foot of snow cover there, most parts.
Where's the fence, the current, fence and gate on this right now, roughly?
It is, you can see,
That kind of bigger border here? This here? Is this it?
no, that's the end of the road. So
This is the road.
if you want, I can try to describe here. So currently the road ends right here.
Okay.
And then there's this kind of gravel stone dust path
Okay.
that goes back here. And then this is that wire fence right here.
Okay.
And then the road kind of passes, it's not picked up on the survey, but it kind of passes through and proceeds up this way.
And the gate is approximately where?
I think there's a pipe gate
Okay.
right at the
At the
road
road,
here.
yeah.
So, we
Yeah.
can park here. I think the applicant, the Caldos, have discussed with the owner of the property being able to park on that site, and I believe they did not have any problem with that.
I was only asking just for reference, so because I did drive by there today, I was able to take a really good look at it, and yeah, kind of where your hand was kind of describing the stone and the fencing, it still has a little bit of snow on it.
Yeah.
Like you said, off to the other side, it's definitely open, you can see some grass and everything, so yeah, I think within a week would probably be good.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna get an inch or two, they said.
Of rain.
On the weekend, but it's gonna be nothing.
Oh.
It'll melt away.
We're supposed to get almost an inch to 2 inches of rain on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think whatever snow
Wash
would have
away.
washed everything away.
Yeah.
And hopefully get a little time to dry out.
Yeah.
Pretty well draining soils here, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Right.
If I may, I would maybe suggest a site walk, not this Saturday, but the following.
21st.
Yeah. And then if for whatever reason we had to cancel that, we can be back here that following Thursday to
And
kind
reset.
of reconvene.
Okay. How does that work for people's schedules?
Good.
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll do a site walk, the 21st time.
You want us to pick it or you want to pick it?
Like 8:39.
8:30, let's do it.
8:30.
It's my
Does that work for
Saturday.
you?
I'm going to make sure it works for Mike Cataldo.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I actually am away that weekend. But I did talk to Mike and Joe today. They're both traveling tonight, but they did say that not this weekend, but anything beyond that, they will make work.
Okay. Great.
Okay,
Yeah. Thanks for pulling
moving.
that pipe down too. It's,
Yeah, it worked out well, and
Yeah.
it's great when we get in our design. Sometimes we get some tunnel vision, and a simple little change
Sure.
like that, it makes a difference.
What did you just pivot to one side?
Basically, just rotated it down 5-10 degrees.
Yeah, it reduces,
Yeah. We're
But
still
just-
we're still in the 50-foot
Yeah.
do not disturb, but we're not in that first 25 feet, which is
yeah. But even the 25 to 50 foot, it's down about 25 square feet from what it was originally.
Yeah.
And then even the 50 to 100 is down.
Yeah, because it's pulling it further
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
And just so you guys know too, within the decision for the planning board, there is a condition on there if anything comes out of our order of conditions that possibly impact it through natural heritage or our permit itself that makes any sort of major change to this, they would have to go back to the planning board for that.
okay.
so you're having a Teams meeting next Thursday with Goddard?
A week
Yeah.
from today
Yeah.
is going to be with Natural Heritage, and then Goddard's going to participate in that as well. Yeah. We
Is
just
that-
got Goddard on board yesterday when we got
Okay.
that letter.
Is that something that would be useful to have Heather on, or if you had time?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why if you
Yeah,
have
if you
availability.
want to send me that link, I'll join that just so I can
Okay.
fill in
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
commission on that.
All right, any other questions for now? As we will otherwise then next talk on this or not talk on this because we can't.
Natural.
We'll just stare at each other. At the site walk on Saturday, March 21st at 8:30 a.m. That said, then let's continue the public hearing. Do I have a motion to continue till our next meeting, which is the
26th.
26th? Yeah.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye.
All right.
Take it away. So,
Great. Thanks very much,
okay,
folks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay.
You too.
Okay, next up are office and member updates. What you got there? Heather?
So, first off, we'll go through just some of the we'll just go some of the commission updates. So, if the weather holds up on this Saturday, I don't know if you guys remember the last, I think, 2 years, we've had this Lady Allison put the Easter eggs up in Pine Meadow.
Mhm.
Because the weather last week, she wasn't able to go out, but she said she's going to try to get that done this coming weekend and have those up through April. So those will be going up soon, so people can go looking for Easter eggs.
So
in
what
Pine
are
Meadow.
these are the plastic eggs?
No, these are just a little like sign that she puts on certain
Okay.
trees. Yeah, to go look for. And then
Okay,
she takes them down.
all right.
The 28th was the MACC conference. While I was there, I know some people know who watches. We have a little library in our office for people to borrow books. So I did get some new ones. One of them, which I thought was just an interesting title, it's called Beaverland: How One Weird Rodent Made America. Everyone wants to read about beavers and how they create wetlands and all that fun stuff. I got one on native. That's not all native, but plants that help feed bees and other pollinators. And I got another one about different hiking trails of interesting points throughout New England as well, to go along with our other books in our little library for people to use. While I was there, I did take 3 workshops. One on creating meadows in town, and the gentleman that ran it was the gardener. He just left, but he was the gardener for Tower Hill. So he took some of the old fields there and turned them into native meadows. And his basically stated that it doesn't matter how small a meadow is, it can be a container meadow and it has value. So it makes me feel better about my little container meadow I have with some of the seeds that I have. So if anybody is interested in taking a hack at putting a wildflower meadow on their property, not so big, I still have plenty of seeds in my office. And I did grab some more while I was at the conference. So please free to stop by, and I have native wildflower seeds, and you can try your luck at your own property.
Do you know if with a wildflower meadow on your property that's not very fancy, is it beneficial to mow it down every few years?
So he was stating that it's best depending on how you decided to do it. So when it starts to grow, so if you spread the seeds fall and they start to come up in the spring, if you mow it down early April,
Okay.
and then it'll bounce back. But anything later than May, you'll kill the flower. You'll get whatever. You won't get any flowers. And people need to remember that when you're doing them, they will take a while. You're not gonna most likely won't get flowers the first year. When I did mine, I just got a few black-eyed Susans to come up. It takes 2 or 3 years to become established.
Right.
So it'll look a mess, but it looks straggly, correct, and it won't necessarily be what you're picturing. It's just one of those things like any trees or whatever you plant, it takes a few years to be established. So, but yes, if you did plant something and it doesn't, you can mow it early and it'll be fine, but not anything much past.
Yeah, because I
Midday.
did one during the shutdown. That was my shutdown project, and then And the first year it was like, huh? And then the next year it was like, oh.
Yeah, it'll
But-
change fast.
But I think I need to sort of mow down and replenish the
Mhm,
soil and
yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
You can also, if you have the time and the energy, Marilyn goes out and she hand picks stuff out of the
Yeah.
area to leave what she wants and
Mhm.
to get rid of the invasives. And
Yep. Yeah, if you have a
it-
small
it
area,
does
you
work.
can do that. Yeah. Just like any other garden,
Yeah.
it needs maintenance, and then
Mhm.
then after it gets fully established.
It's that maintenance I'm not so good at.
Yeah, it's the first few years of maintenance that can be tricky.
It's like get things started and say, okay, you're on your own.
I just take the seeds and I just go, oh, let's see if they grow here, and I just throw
Yeah,
them
I
out
do that
places
too.
and see what happens.
Followed by, and you're on your own.
Yeah. The last workshop I took was not as a happy one. It was on climate change.
Yeah.
And it was more of a doom and gloom of this is what it is and there's not much we can do about it. But it was focusing a lot more, instead of on resiliency, more on adaptation and modification of how we look at things, because we already see the effects of climate change. So we can do what we can to be, and try to slow it down, but what we need to look at more is what we need to do to modify and adapt our everyday
Yeah.
to deal with it. So, which, that was a great way to end a long day, but it was fine.
Been seeing the thing that, Massachusetts, our area, is still labeled as extreme drought by the state.
You were still in a drought. Yeah, the last drought report that came out, I have it outside my office. We were in a drought. That was before the blizzard came through, because it was from February 1st. So I don't know when they do the next one, what it'll state. We were in most of the state was in a level 2 drought, whereas Nantucket was level 3.
Yeah. The one I saw, we were still in the dark orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I think it's hard to believe that when we had all this snow and cold, but
it hasn't recharged down.
Mhm.
when the ground's frozen, nothing recharges in, so
Yeah.
it doesn't do much. In the first snowstorm we had of 3 feet, that was a very dry snow, so there was no moisture in it, so
Yeah.
that makes a difference too. So hopefully we get some rain and it'll hopefully balance out and we don't go all year with a drought, but one we'll find out. But
Yeah.
we do our best. I do my best to try to keep up to date with the drought monitor and have
Yeah.
and I work with Dan on that too, in regards to that stuff. So, we will be working on doing the Earth Day shutdown of McPherson Road on the April 22nd during April vacation. Time of it isn't 100% set in stone yet, but they're looking at either 1 or 2 in the afternoon to 5 or 6. We're hoping, working with Devon's Enterprise, to have different tables set up this year as we did a couple years ago. The Sustainability Committee will have a table there. And I'll obviously have conservation stuff there as well, and try to get either, I don't know if anyone ever seen the DPW's watershed map thing they have. It's basically just, it's a 3D model, and you spray water on it to show you how water flows.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna see if I can get that to bring that for that on the 22nd. We're working on getting the townwide cleanup on that Saturday, the 25th. Jeff Tillotson still would like to be the point person for that, so he's working on getting that set up. But as details come out and it gets closer, I told him I'd help him share that information. But right now it's scheduled for Saturday, the 25th at 9 o'clock with pickup at the town beach, with a rain date of the 26th, that Sunday.
Okay.
Hopefully not like last year, it won't get snow like we did last year for the cleanup.
Yeah.
And one other thing, we have a new NOI filing that was sent, it was emailed today. I cannot print it because it's too large for National Grid. So they are mailing that, so that'll be on an upcoming meeting. I don't know if I'll be able to get it in time for I'm gonna have it in time for the next meeting. No, I don't. So it'll be on the first meeting in April.
Okay.
And then I'm still tweaking. I sent this first draft, and then I don't know if you guys liked how I did it, of my possible revisions for the regulations. I basically took the old ones and did a track changes so you could see how I moved things and drafted it around. I'm still working on it a little bit more. There's still a couple of things I wanted to add. I did add in the possibility of adding filing fees, bylaw fees to the regulations in the one that you hadn't seen yet. And those were very minimal fees. There would be no proposed fee for RDAs. And then notices of intent are separated out into categories based on the amount of work being done. Whereas category 1 is for just work on a single family lot, and I kept those fees at like $25.
Yeah.
Because everything that comes before, especially with NOI, takes time for me to review. The bigger the project, sometimes there's multiple site visits that take place with the phone
Right.
call. So that's what that filing fee is. It's just a suggestion. It's written in our bylaw that we're allowed to do that. Just threw that one in, and I'm still tweaking them. But if you go through and see what we're looking at, and then have a more in-depth discussion about this at our next meeting, there was added a wildlife habitat and mitigation section added, requiring anybody that clears over a certain square foot of property to have a wildlife biologist verify the wildlife habitat on there, and also require a replanting of anything cleared out based on size of tree or shrubbery didn't taken out, following more or less what we're doing for our tree policy that we have. This then now just puts something more in depth into our regulations. I did add a quick note at the end of our plan requirements to have at least 60% native species requirement. I did modify our setbacks to include a 50 to 75 no build. We have the 0 to 50 no touch. So that's
Where
50
was
to
that in the draft?
75 would be a no building. I don't have it in front of me. I didn't print it. It
Okay.
should go after all of the authority. If I looked at it, I could point it right out to you. Where it is.
Okay.
But so it would do that, and then I added, and this is just from my own right here.
Okay.
50 to 75.
And what is aura?
That's what you had in yours, so that's why I did. It's area under resource area.
Oh,
I believe is what the thing is. I just took it from our regulations now and just changed and just
Okay.
added the 0 to that. I did.
It was actually, I think the first paragraph or second paragraph of the bylaws.
Yeah.
It just wasn't identified as an acronym,
yeah.
so it put in parenthetical, but it was fully spelled out.
Okay.
So it kind of threw me too. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
it's
So
Aura.
yeah.
And it took me a second to walk back and find it. So,
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
just
go
a,
through
yeah,
that.
I just filled out without things have to get moved around. I did add, and you guys can change it. This is just for myself that I'd like to see it a 200-foot buffer around all vernal pools.
Around,
Vernal pools.
around.
And there was, I think, one on there that's not allowed to have waivers for certain aspects of it. I can't remember, but these are just pointing out some of the things that I added to you. And like I said, I still want to add it and review it a little bit more. But we'll have a more in-depth discussion about it at our next meeting to go through them all and decide when we're going to do the public hearing for it.
One of the things I'd like us to consider would be, because we talk about the no disturb, and then in the 0 to 25 foot, and talking about properties that changes were made since 1996, but without a permit. And I think that could be both look confusing and alarming to residents because so many people have abut ponds or streams. It's like, it can look like, okay, you can't do anything in your yard without even digging up a plant without going to the Conservation Commission. I'm not sure we want that level for yards that are pretty well.
Doesn't it? I believe it states that it's for undisturbed. So
Right, but we
when
need
you're looking at a lawn-
to spell that out.
Spell it
So-
out? Okay.
So I would say probably do something that talks about a yard, what a yard, basic grass or landscaping, but if you're doing something that's a major change, because we don't want it to look like it's going to be breathing down everybody's shoulder if you do anything in your yard at all. Well, I remember that's what your concern was when you first came to our discussions. I think and former chair had said, well, if you're digging up a plant, really, you need to get our permission. And it's like, no, that won't fly well with. But yeah, so just so we make it look as, we keep in mind we should be as user-friendly for ordinary residents
Yeah, so
as we
if
can
we
be.
want to spell something that out, maybe possibly put some examples in
Yeah.
there to make it a
Yeah.
little bit easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would probably tone down a little of the in-kind replacement for
Yeah.
some things.
Yeah, no, that was just I
Yeah.
just took it from another
Yeah.
one. I'm like, yeah, I said it needs to be retouched. I just wanted to get everything I was thinking of in there,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't get lost. And then
Yeah.
go back through, and
Yeah.
I have a clean version of it on my desktop that I can then look at and read and tweak
Okay.
from there, and mess up the edited one.
I must have changed the version because the only edit that I saw was the aura thing. It was in red.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else looked normal. So
Did
when I
you
opened it, so maybe I hit
hit a tracking change
accept
thing?
changes maybe.
Yeah, accept
so
changes.
Like everything, but
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I have the track changes version. I can email it back to you again.
Yeah, because mine had a whole bunch.
was there changes in the email system possibly? Because last time I was in, things were fine, I guess. When I went in this time, anything that had like somebody else's email on it was attached very odd, and that the attachments were
Yeah, it looks different now.
a little okay. That,
Yeah, I
So-
don't know.
maybe that's the issue. Is maybe I clicked the wrong one, possibly. So I'll be back in
Yeah, so I'll resend it too. Like I said, there's a couple other things I still want to look at changing as well. Looking at all the different other towns and what they have. There's a lot of ones that go into more detail on what different types of resource areas. I think I even might have added into ours too, because it's been floated around in the update to the Wetland Protection Act to add climate change. That's one of the big things they want to add, and I think I kind of just threw that in there for our regulations because it will. We've been told like 2 years on it that's going to get changed. So I just like, I'm just going to throw it in there because it'll get added in eventually, and I can do that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because
also,
of the impacts we have to look at when we're looking
Yeah.
at projects.
and when people are thinking about plantings on their property now, you sort of think about what's more resilient.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Common practice was
Yeah.
one. I've seen two different classes I've gone to. Arbors will say different things. Some say look at the Mid-Atlantic states, and that's fine. Other ones say, oh, just go straight across and you're okay. And I'm like, but everyone's climate's changing, so I
Yeah.
don't know which one's right, but more native is better. They're more apt to be resilient to what climate changes do occur.
Yeah. Any other updates?
That is about all I have.
Was there a meeting on 71 Sandy Pond?
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
Thank you. There was a
yeah.
meeting on 71 Sandy Pond on Monday.
Which I missed.
You missed, which is fine. We went through the proposed project for 71 Sandy Pond in the beach and what they're looking at to propose. There will be a parking area. The proposed site, I mean, obviously things are of cost and town meeting approval and everything else, but there will be a parking area on 71 Sandy Pond, a fitness court, a pavilion with picnic tables, along with other uncovered picnic tables and additional plantings, and eventually a nature trail that goes too close to the back of the property. It won't go all the way. It won't end at the railroad tracks. Over on the beach side, there will be a canoe launch and a splash pad. Those are what's in the proposed plan.
So the fitness court is just like concrete.
I don't know what it'll be made out of. I don't think that
Yeah.
material is set in stone. And it's all subject to funding, obviously, too.
Okay. And then when are they planning their public input?
I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're due. I don't know what the plan is. I think the plan is to bring us all to the select board. I can't remember what meeting we decided we were going to do that at.
Can you make sure
Put
we
it in my
know,
phone.
we know the date of that if they do it that way? But I think as John has said, the fitness court has to have some things in it that make it worthwhile for people to be over on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't remember.
It doesn't seem like much of a draw to me.
Yeah.
It's not a destination. And neither are picnic tables as far as I'm concerned. It's like, you have picnic on the other side where you get a view of the beach, you know?
Yeah,
Parking lot.
my concern came from the fact that you have the splash pad, and I thought of this after the fact. And as someone who's taken it's usually a porous haven, the water sinks in, it's going to run off. But you have it at the side of the town beach where there's sand, so you can't have kids with sandy feet running into the splash pad and getting all that sand.
Clog it up.
And it would clog it up.
Oh, did you raise that?
No, I thought of it after the fact because like my kids used to go to them all the time, and you don't usually see them where there's sand.
Yeah.
So I don't, unless it's going to have obviously a different drainage system. I don't know, but usually they have like
Yeah. But a splash pad on the other side.
makes no sense because you have little kids running back and forth.
Oh, across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have, but that's what thought came to mind. But I mean, there's different ways to do the drainage on it.
Yeah.
That would, I'm sure you would think of that, but like that thought came to my head, like, oh, you need to be careful of that.
Yeah.
I think we just have the stormwater stuff, right? So we should have something like a sand fall at the bottom.
Yeah, you have to have a separator and everything like that, so you did specific drains on it instead of just having a completely porous pavement.
My lifeguard's job every day is empty the sand out of the thing.
Yeah, so it's one of those design things that I think will get hashed out. It's not a no for the plan. It's just one of those design things. You're like, oh, we have to think of this when we're designing it. That's the only thought that came to me after the fact. But
There has to been, they never looked at this and maybe there's a reason not to do it, but is it possible to put maybe a diagonal crosswalk from 71 to the?
so that's what they were looking at. They were looking at putting an additional crosswalk in, so it's going to be coming from the 71 Sandy Pond site across the street, and then have to do, obviously the one, and you end up crossing Snake Hill Road to get to the beach.
Yeah, so instead of doing the two cross, can they just
Do a diagonal.
time it so
I don't know how that works. It usually works. They usually have those in the cities where you have traffic lights, whereas this is just
Or
it's
stop
not a four-way
signs.
stop. It's just a two-way stop.
Ain't happening.
You're not going to be able to do that diagonal. Usually, you only see those in cities when you have the intersection with traffic lights.
What was the reasoning for no four-way stop? What was the reasoning for no four-way stop?
I don't. When you're looking at traffic studies and traffic count, there is a certain threshold that brings that in, and you would trigger that.
I'm sorry I missed that
that
meeting.
threshold would be one child dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I unfortunately, I was at the meeting, in my kitchen making my kids dinner, and while they ate dinner, and they're like, "Can we walk by?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're fine. The background's blurred." So every now and then you just see a tall blonde head walk by me, and my youngest wouldn't do it. He'd like crawl on the floor. I'm like, "You can walk by."
But just like other parts of town where you see some areas of four-way stops in more of the neighborhoods,
Yeah.
you think, the traffic coming along Sandy Pond Road, there's a lot of traffic.
I think it's something that when this project goes forward, when it actually gets to that construction phase, because you'll be adding that park, it'll probably be something that's looked at that it does become a four-way stop. I don't think it's a matter, it's not going to happen, it's just a matter of when that actually does happen.
I felt like there had been resistance to the idea from some departments.
Yeah.
Well, I asked Dan about it, and he said that it doesn't fit the parameters to be able to put in it.
Again, though, there's plenty of traffic on the Sandy Pond side that's way more than you get, and they're fast. Nobody
If
gets,
nothing, they should eliminate trucks there.
which they can't.
Well, the issue with, I think, the trucks there, then it has, how do you get them from where, the truck route type of thing, that becomes an issue, because then if they're coming off of Westford Road, then they gotta go up Willow and take that sharp turn to come down 2A, and can they make that turn where it's easier to come
Just
down
widen.
State Road?
They just widened it. No, I'm saying
I know they just widened it, yeah.
There's no reason.
Yeah,
why
so
it's
those
not
are
perfect.
all deep, so I can only answer these as far as what I hear in meetings for as far as traffic studies and stuff go. I don't know. These are good Dan questions, and I'm sure these are things that are gonna have to be hashed out before whenever any question or development or funding would come to town meeting.
Okay.
So I'm sure they would have some sort of public, obviously we'd have to have something before that.
Like a stone bridge department there or something. That'll take a church.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
doesn't store them, why would it work here?
Well, let us know when they start taking it before, like, the select board.
Yeah,
or something.
I want to say, I can't remember what meeting it was that they were going. I want to say it's sometime in April. So I will ask Robert if we settle on a date and what day that was. When I see Dan
Yeah.
or somebody, I'll ask them, and then I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Because they want us all to go, so they'll probably send it out in an email anyway. Because they're gonna want as many from the working group to go. And so.
Right. Any member updates? Mr. Schmallenberger. John.
Could we ask Dan to come in to a meeting sometime, and so we could talk about all these different things?
Yeah, sure.
in
To a
person?
conservation meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about the Flanagan put in, and
Yeah.
that thing on Sandy Pond, that annoying thing across the street from me that I keep harping on,
Also the sheds.
and the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see if he has time at our next meeting since we're just going to be finishing up Orion Park. I can ask if he's free for the next meeting.
Yeah, friendly meeting.
Yeah, I mean, and if it's easier for him if we have to, I mean, I know he just lives over in Harvard. If we have to have him Zoom in, we can do a hybrid meeting if we have to, just so he's here.
Sure. Can make Jess read that little preamble thing as you do.
I have to read my sustainability meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to set up a meeting with Robert, talk about a few of our outstanding issues, including the dock license program.
Yes. I should mention too. Thank you for that. The bids for the pond treatment will be in Monday. My
Okay.
apologies for the date on that. I met with Robert to discuss the warrant article today and what we might think we were looking for, requesting for funding for that. I looked at the date when it was required. I missed it. I don't know what my brain was thinking, but I'm going to err on the side of caution that when the amounts come in, I'm hoping they're similar to last year, but I don't know what tariffs are going to do to anything. But I'm in full mode to think that we're going to need the most amount of funding as we can, and figuring that there'll be an algae bloom this year.
Yeah. You think there will be?
Well, we had the one 4 years ago.
Yeah.
We had the naturally occurring algae this year that eventually it was there for not even a month and then washed out. That it's just a matter of
But
time
we're heading
before
Yeah.
if the air temperature's gone up
It's an El
degree and a
Nino.
half Celsius, water temperature's gone up at least 3 degrees
Yeah.
because water's warming faster than the air.
And it's an El Nino summer, right? I think they're expecting an El Nino this year.
I'm so tired. I think we're always in one. I can't.
Yeah.
But so those bids will be in for the next meeting too. and
Have
we'll
we
vote on
gotten
that.
any yet?
We haven't got any yet.
Okay.
So I think they're all waiting for the deadline,
Okay.
which makes me nervous. I mean, I couldn't open them anyway, but so I did hear from Water Wetlands, I did hear from Solitude, and I did send them out that they will be sending them in. Just haven't seen them yet, but we'll make sure that the warrant article it does fund that. And I know the majority of people in town, some people in town don't like to see that that's how we treat them, but unfortunately the alternative is, one, would be we can't dredge it, we can't pump the water out, it's just naturally, it keeps flowing in. Two, to rake it, getting equipment in there, we don't have access on Flanagan to get equipment in there, we'd have to get an easement from another property owner. And two, instead of looking for $20,000 at town meeting, we'd be looking at like $200,000.
200. Yeah, the cost difference is enormous. And
the towns that have done it, like Littleton, when they did it, and they waited too long and did it when the milfoil was too high and it broke apart, it doubled in their, and it's one of those like The timing has to be just right.
Mhm.
Water levels in certain ponds aren't deep enough. Like we could never do any sort of raking in Grove Pond. It's just not deep enough.
Yeah. That
And-
probably applies to Pine Meadow too, right?
Yeah, probably in certain
Mhm.
areas, and then you get to the point where then you would have to then do chemicals. Whereas looking at Grove Pond, because then a question's going to come up. The chemicals that we use, it falls to the ground and decays. The pond's already shallow enough. And
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It's just not feasible. I wish it was. It's just not.
Yeah.
The only feasible thing to tackle all that would be to take the pond away.
Take the pond
do
away.
Take the pond away.
Yeah.
Grove Pond was a meadow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then there'd be
yeah.
nothing. It'd be fine. But that's not what we're gonna do. We can't do that. So, unfortunately, that pond stays as it is until we can. Technology thinks it's something else.
Anything else, John? Jen?
No.
George?
Sorry to hijack your time.
Mark?
Oh, it's okay.
And I've got nothing. Okay, next on our agenda would be public input. And I see Rachel Cazera here today. Do you have any?
Input or just listening pleasure?
I'm just here.
Yeah,
So,
just okay.
yeah, maybe next time I'll contribute.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
It's good to
You
see
too.
you too.
Nothing else? Then hear a motion for adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All opposed? Nobody. And we adjourn at 7:41.